Michiko Hatchin episode 8. I don't even know the title of this. Black Noise and a Dope Game. I completely forgot to actually check the title and remember the name of the episode, so that's very professional. But I like this episode. I really enjoyed it. It seemed like the type of episode that, fortunately, with me being pretty far behind, because I've been doing that lately, being almost a week behind, this seems like it'll actually tie into the next episode because it ties into the main story arc, which in this one kind of in a way involves Satoshi with like the weird guy who just wanted to be like a gang leader, so he took Satoshi's name and pretended to be, he got him and his friend, he convinced his friends to be a part of this gang, even though they weren't actually a part of it. They just said they were, and they were getting all the money and stuff, and he's like this super big guy. And I remember, and I think it was 2 episodes ago, when we actually saw Satoshi on the phone, I'm like, I could have sworn in that little scene he was still super skinny. He obviously wasn't the little kid from that picture, but when I saw him, I'm like, it was like a little side profile. I'm like, he was still super skinny. He wasn't like incredibly tall or anything. Granted, it was at the top, of his head, so you don't really know how tall or anything like that. But I'm like, I could have sworn he was still like a fairly thin shaped dude. So it was kind of weird until they had the guy with like the insane hair who was like almost bald but had like I don't even know what you call him, but he had like basically just squiggles on the top of his head, and he mentions like I'm working with Satoshi and stuff, and then this other Satoshi comes in and you're giving him all your money. And I was like, okay, and plus I was online, so I was really messing myself up following this actual episode for the first half, so I kept rewinding stuff. So I was like, okay, they are saying this guy's a fake Satoshi, and then that was, of course, even easier to follow once Hatchin actually went to see Satoshi, and it's like this giant dude's in front of her, which is a hilarious scene too, and it started it off really funny. And they're watching like a martial arts movie and stuff, and then here she comes, and this guy is like, oh, calling an escort and stuff. And, she beats up all the other dudes, and he's like, oh, what, you're gonna, like, hit me in my divine jaw? He said, call him, like, Jesus H. Magnificent, which I thought was unbelievably hilarious. And he thinks, oh, you're just gonna punch me in the face, and she hits him right in the nuts, and he just went down. And then, after that, he's talking about, like, when you kicked me in the balls, you gave my heart a reach around, which I thought was probably the funniest line in the whole episode. Like, after the Jesus thing, that was... I didn't think that would have been top, but then he said that, and I was like, that's just even crazier to say, and it was just really, really funny. And then they all get pulled into, like, this insane, stupid train catching game where she has to go back and forth, jump all over the place, so that she can get her actual meet with Satoshi, so that she can really find out whether or not Hiroshi is alive or dead. And it was pretty cool, and I really enjoyed it. I actually thought it was a pretty awesome episode. Like, the first half was actually really different than the second half, too, so it was almost 2 in 1. Because the first one also dealt with the sort of waning relationship between Michiko and Hatchin that stemmed from the last episode. And I like that. I thought it was pretty cool that carried over as well, where Hatchin's mad at her. It's like, you ruin everything, and she kind of gave up on finding this person that she says she cares so much about. She almost did that in the last episode. She almost completely gave up for a married man, and it just took her down a notch for Hatchin, like down to the point where she just doesn't care anymore. And it's like, you don't have to keep your promise to protect me or anything like that. And even in the end of the episode, when Michiko and the guy actually get on the train and they end up on the right train, she looks over and she sees Hatchin going off on this other train. It could have been someone random, and it could have just been the fact that they just did it animation wise. She thought that it was Hatchin for sure, but I'm pretty sure it was. She had the same clothing and everything, but they could easily do that and just be like, oh, she thought it was her, but Hatchin decided to stay. But it does make a lot of sense based on the first part of this episode that she would actually leave, and I don't know what's going to come of that. Like, I'm actually really excited to see what happens now that they're going to be split up, and Michiko is kind of going down their path of finding Hiroshi again, but she already ruined it, for Hatchin in the last episode. Now she's kind of just off on her own doing something, like who knows what. But she has her phone call for Satoshi. Satoshi seemingly gave her up, actually, to her friend, whose name I don't really remember, but it was cool to see her come back. they actually did like 2 other little callbacks because we got to see the chef guy come back in, and she said like they ate there for 2 days or something, and all he had was the name Hatchet because he didn't hear it say Hatchin and he got it wrong. So that was pretty funny. It was like Hatchet was all they got out of him, and then she went back to the old place that Michiko went to, where they have whatever they did. It seems like it's almost like a restaurant or something. I guess like a catering service. Those guys, and so she's like, I went back, which I promised I'd never do, and all that happened was those 2 queens, talk crap about the way I looked. And it was funny, and the guy, you could kind of hear what he was saying, even though it was dubbed over, and he's like, oh, you're like a hot mess, and he's like patting on their afro and stuff. And I love that scene. It was just really funny, and they're just basically just saying, like, you don't look good, and that was it. So I like that little scene. And her going to now where Michiko actually is, we'll get to see them interact again, which we really haven't seen since the 2nd episode. So I'm actually excited to see them interact with each other because it seems like it's been forever, but that's obviously because we get 1 episode a week. But it has been a month and a half. It has been 6 whole episodes since that happened. So it'll actually be pretty cool to see them finally come back together and interact with each other. And who knows if she'll run into Hatchin before she actually runs into Michiko, because we don't really know where either of them are going to end up, by the end of this episode. Because if there really is Hatchin on that train, she's going to, I think it was like Central something, like Michiko and like the fake guy, they actually went to like the center. I think it was Central, it means center. And then she went like center south or central south or something like that. I don't think it's south central, totally different. But, she went in a totally different direction. They went straight. She, turned left and she's off wherever. And then Michiko is just like, at the end of the line of the tracks, basically inside of a tunnel on a phone call. So I don't know if she's going to go back to the hotel and get caught, which she probably will because she does get her motorcycle back or her bike back in this episode, which was a really funny opening as well, where the guy's like, she doesn't even have money, and then she takes off on the bridge and destroys it, and he falls in the water, and now he's stuck with the bill. So we do have the bike back. Since he called it a bike, so that's what I'm just going to call it from now on, because I just call it like a big moped was what I saw it as. But, we've got that back, so she's probably going to get on the trains and head back, and then, I guess, try to get to the real Satoshi, but she'll probably end up getting stopped by her friend or having some sort of interaction with her. But I definitely enjoyed this episode. It was 2 interesting halves. Like, the first one was very dramatic with dealing with Michiko and Hatchin's really waning relationship. Especially the cafe scene most of all, for sure, was definitely the big one. But I loved all those scenes, and they all played out really, really well. And then it seemed like things were okay. At least, Hatchin, she got the note and everything, and it seemed like Michiko was really trying what she said. Even after Hatchin's like, you don't have to keep that promise, she writes a note and everything. Or she, calls up and has the people write a note, like, a promise is a promise, and I'll be back. And, I thought, okay, well, she's going to see that, and, it's like a letter and everything, like, I'm going to come back, and obviously I'm doing something insane, and it's going to be fine. And then we see Hatchin, if, like I said, if that really is her, on that trolley just going off to wherever. So, I'm really excited to see how the characters end up back together I don't know if it'll be by the end of the next episode, but however many it takes, it'll be interesting to see. And I'd love to see if the next episode was them separated the entire time, because we haven't had that yet. It's, only 8 episodes in, but it's Michiko and Hatchin as Michiko and Hatchin really together, aside from when Hatchin was kidnapped. But by choice, or at least one person's choice, they're separated right now, and they might not get back together in the very next episode. So I'm really excited for where this one ended, and the lead that Michiko has now actually getting at least a phone call with Satoshi. I don't know how well that's going to actually play out for her getting to see him, and then Hatchin just going off being somewhere. So I'm really excited. And then we have her friend coming back in, and I forgot to mention they also did the callback to 2 episodes ago when they had the bullfight and everything, and the caretaker woman, she went, the woman went back to her, and it's like she paid her money to get info and still got nothing. So, they did little callbacks to some of the important people. So I just wanted to mention her because I totally forgot about her. But I'm excited for this next one, where the characters are right now and where they're going to end up being in this next episode, and just what's going to happen in general, because the main storyline is definitely going to get a focus with Michiko getting a lead with Satoshi, and then another storyline is going to be happening with whatever Hatchin's going to end up doing. So I'm actually really excited for, the next episode coming out. But I definitely want to know what you guys thought about this one, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And I want to know what you guys thought about the crazy train hopping game that they had at the end, because it was interesting. It was like she knew what the game was, and that was another thing that I didn't exactly pick up on because I was kind of on my laptop. But I got the gist of it, that basically she knew what the game was. Like, it was something, it was a big deal, like, within this group. Like, it was something really big, like, that they'd done, who knows how many times. And in this case, it was like a life or death thing, but they've done it before, possibly for, sort of life or death type of stuff. At least for those other guys, like, for her, it was just like, she's not an enemy, so she would have just lost and not have been able to talk to Satoshi. But she was fighting for, in a sense, those other guys, and at least one of them did make it, the fake Satoshi, so he got the rest of his buddies out of it, aside from the one that got shot. And it was kind of funny, I don't know if this was intentional, but they did, like, it made me think of that really old YouTube video where the guy got punched by the old dude, and he was like, somebody called it ambulance and stuff, and it sounded like that's what the guy said to me, so it made me think of that, and I don't know if that was on purpose, or it was just the fact that he just said that, and it just made me think of the video. But that was kind of funny too. But like I said, I want to know what you guys thought about this one, so please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.